Alright YouTube, want to check out all the cool swag I picked up at the RightStuf holiday sale as well as this whole entire month of December? Stay tuned! Alright, welcome back. And let me just say, you know, this time of year, it is, well, it's the holiday seasons. For me, I celebrate Christmas, and, well, you know, one of the things about Christmas, it's always been about, well, giving, and at the same time getting. And while, yes, I do, you know, give presents and whatnot, it also winds up being a time where I get to give myself a little something more than what I normally wind up getting throughout the year. While, yes, I do budget to, you know, buy anime and stuff throughout the year, in the end, Christmas time winds up being the time where I get to splurge a little on myself, you know, purchase a little bit more than I normally do. And one of the reasons for that is because RightStuf.com actually gives a this awesome holiday sale where I can pick up a whole ton of anime really cheap. And I'm not talking, you know, cheap like I just picked up a whole bunch of cool shows that somebody else used and, you know, I got it for a couple of bucks. I'm talking, this has never been used, it's still in cellophane, it's brand new, and I got it for a couple of bucks. That's the type of sales that I'm talking about here. It's not exactly the same as going to a, you know, resale shop like I do throughout the year. I'm going to an actual retailer and I'm saving a whole lot of money. And one of the cool things is RightStuf.com is still doing their sale until December 28th. So if you haven't had a chance to go check it out and you really love anime, I suggest you do so. There'll be a link in the comments to get you over to that place. If not up here, if I can do that in order to link you over there. Either way though, I picked up a whole bunch of really cool stuff this month here in the month of December because, well, let's face it, I got a bonus check from work and had a chance to spend a little bit of that money on myself because, you know, I'm a responsible adult rather than spending my extra hard-earned cash on, you know, a brand new TV, you know, something bigger than a 35-inch for me to watch all of my wall of anime on. Instead, I decided to spend that money on more anime. Don't worry though, one of these days I'll remember to save up enough to buy a bigger TV because, you know, I want to appreciate the anime more on, you know, bigger, newer TV. But either way though, the sale is going on, so thank you RightStuf for all the cool stuff, and well, why don't we talk about what I picked up here this month. Alright, we'll start with the stuff that didn't come from RightStuf. I did buy from a few other places over the course of the past month, and well, let's go over that really quickly because, well, let's face it, it's the smallest amount of the stuff that I got. Alright, first up is Bubblegum Crisis on Blu-ray. You might remember, you know, I'll have it right up here, I made a video about this. I did a whole unboxing video, so I'm not going to show you the whole cool things about this, but this is the Bubblegum Crisis Ultimate Edition Collector's Set. This is the standard edition box that I picked up, and I got into a Kickstarter a year ago to actually get this out, and now it's out and in my hands, and I now own it. So that's really cool to finally have, and I'm definitely going to be enjoying that. Alright, now, when I, over the course of, you know, November, November was, you know, the month of my birth, and my parents gave me some money. I got some money for a birthday present, and I also received a gift card to Disc Replay, and you might remember, me and Disc Replay, we don't get along. Well, actually, me and Disc Replay get along really well. My wallet and Disc Replay, on the other hand, usually doesn't get along very well. So, you know, I decided to go in. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go in and try to pick up anything before Black Friday or even on Black Friday. And because of that, the last time I've been in a couple of times here this month in December, their stock has kind of dwindled a little bit as far as the really cool niche titles in the anime section. They had a lot of stuff that I either already owned, I already owned part of and wasn't sure which parts to pick up, or stuff that I was able to pick up in full from the RightStuf on the holiday sale and pay less than what I would have paid for the bits and pieces that I would have gotten over at Disc Replay. So I didn't wind up picking up a whole lot, but I did pick up a couple of things. And believe me, I still have money left over on my gift card and whatnot, so I will be back. I'm hoping they'll get to restock here in January, so we'll see how that goes. Either way, though, one of the things I picked up is the newest Ghibli movie that came out on Blu-ray, and that is The Wind Rises. Really cool, interesting show. I got a chance to see this in theaters, and it was different. It took me a little while to actually figure out exactly what was going on, and that basically all of the sound effects in this were done by mouth. You know, the sound of the planes and the propellers and all that, well, that was mouth sounds. It wasn't your typical Foley, which is an interesting way to go about that, and really makes this a very surreal movie, a very surreal piece. And it's just really, really cute and interesting. It's not, I wouldn't say it's as out there and interesting and whatnot as some of Miyazaki's other works, but this goes right along the line of some of his more low-key, you know, real-life type stuff. You know, kind of like not the Cat Returns, Whispers of the Heart or whatnot, which Whispers of the Heart is a really good show, and honestly, The Wind Rises, I recommend it. If you got a chance to pick it up, go ahead and do. Or rent it, or whatever you want to do. Alright, last but not least from my purchases is, at Disc Replay, is the Legend of the Dragon Kings, the DVD collection. It includes Legend of the Dragon Kings Blue Dragon, White Dragon, Iron Dragon, Red Dragon, Black Dragon, and Under Fire. This has episodes 3 through 12 on here, plus the Under Fire, which I believe is technically the first 2 episodes, just not listed as such. This is a Central Park Media title, and well, it's 569 minutes. It's definitely a long one. Copyright, original Japanese version came out in 1991. Basically about a family of dragons living in the present day age, disguised as humans, and what basically they go through. I guess they're trying to protect the Earth or something like that. And yeah, that's what this is. This is, you know, an old show that I saw. It was in its complete collection and decided to pick her on up. So, cool. Alright, moving right along here. Last week, I was heading out bowling. My work, we actually have a bowling league, and we meet just about every other week. And when I go out bowling, one of the things is the barber shop that I go to is right near the bowling alley. And so I usually try to go get a haircut at the same time when I go bowling. You know, I'll head down there a little bit early, go to the barber shop, and hopefully get my haircut. Well, when I went this past week, I basically walked in. I didn't try calling ahead or anything like that, like I often do. Wasn't sure exactly when I was going to get off. So I walked in and figured, you know, we'll take a walk in and I'll get in real quick. No, actually. I walked in and they're like, yeah, we've got enough people ahead of you. It's probably not going to be for 2.5 hours till we can get to you. And I was like, well, 2.5 hours puts me an hour and a half into my bowling league, so I'm going to leave and I'll come back later. I did get a haircut later on, but that's beside the point. Basically what that did is that made me head over to a comic shop in that area. And while I was there, I was browsing, seeing all the fun, interesting stuff that they had, and I ran across these 2 pieces of manga. Which is interesting. You've probably never seen me talk about a manga before, and that's because I don't normally buy manga anymore. But when I saw these, I knew I had to have them, and the price was right. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Battle Angel Alita. So I have the first story, the actual origin story, Battle Angel Alita, by Viz, and then Battle Angel Alita, Angel of Death, also by Viz. That night, I still had time after I purchased these to go to basically read and whatnot before everybody started showing up at the bowling alley. So I sat down with a beer and I read through this whole entire first book here. And I have to say, this story is really, really good. The art style is just awesome. There's tons of really cool detailed pieces of artwork and things in here. And in the end, it just winds up, it's a very heartwarming story while also being, you know, violent and nasty. You know, you kind of feel for the bad guy. You feel for Alita as well. You basically feel for everybody in here, and you know, you're rooting for her, and at the same time, you're, you know, kind of hoping she doesn't actually kill the bad guy. Really, really good story, and honestly, after reading it, I'm not sure why I never actually picked this up to begin with, other than it just didn't interest me, or I didn't have it, or I didn't see it, or whatnot. Anyway, I really recommend, if you have a chance to actually go out and read Battle Angel Alita, please do. It's really, really good, and it's going to be a good read. Alright, now let's dig into what I picked up at the RightStuf. Lot of stuff here that I got. Like I said, RightStuf.com, when they do a sale, it's a chance for me to stock up and fill up on things that I don't have, and things that I haven't had a chance to get at a really good price, and that's what I really love about it. They had a lot of good stuff on sale this time, quite a bit of stuff that I didn't have a chance to pick out because, you know, I had a certain budget I was on, and I didn't want to go over that budget, otherwise I wouldn't have budget to use elsewhere where I need to use it. So, you know, there were a few things that I didn't get. RightStuf has limited quantities on some things. There were a couple of things that by the time I had a chance to actually purchase it, once my bonus check came in, unfortunately they'd already sold out. But yeah, I mean, they do this sale where they start on Black Friday, and it's like 3 days of Black Friday stuff, and then they go right into 1 day for 13 days straight of Christmas, of December, where they reveal new stuff, and then finally once the 13th day is revealed, they let the sale continue on until December 28th. So you still have a chance to go pick up stuff from them if you want. You won't get it before Christmas, unfortunately, because, you know, I'm filming this on Christmas Eve at this point, but you know, it took a little while for the thing to actually get to me because, you know, I cheaped out on the on the shipping. I went with the free shipping, which is perfectly fine. I mean, they package this stuff really, really well. I never have had anything damaged in shipping from them. They've got, you know, these cool little cardboard things with air and whatnot, and they package with a lot of stuff like this, so they do a really good job. Despite the fact that, you know, I go for the cheap free shipping, it still comes perfectly fine. It's just, it takes a little longer to get here, and you know what, I'm willing to wait for my anime. It allows me to pick up a few more extra pieces. So anyway, first up is a CD. Some of you may not know what a CD is. It's a way to put music on something physical so you can take it in the car with you or bring it around or whatnot. It's also a great medium for you to then put onto MP3 so it goes on your MP3 player, and that's actually what I've already done with this. This is Girl Arjuna soundtrack. Soundtrack done by Yoko Kanno. If you don't know who Yoko Kanno is, what rock have you been living under as far as anime is concerned? She's considered one of the greatest composers for anime, at least back in the 90s, early 2000s and whatnot. She did, you know, Girl Arjuna, Cowboy Bebop, Escaflowne, Brain Powered, what's some of the other stuff that she's done that's generally well known? Wolf's Rain, a bunch of different stuff, and her style just goes all over the place, and that's what I really love. It's a bit of classical style embedded into it, while other different styles as well, and winds up being a lot of really cool, awesome music. And the Arjuna soundtrack is one of my favorites, and I've been wanting to actually own a physical copy. It was on sale, so I picked her on up, already ripped her, threw her onto FLAC format, and tossed her on my iPod so I can actually listen to in the car. Because unfortunately I don't have one of those fancy cars that already has its own MP3 player embedded into it, so I have to bring my own. Either way though, awesome, awesome to have. Great soundtrack, I highly recommend it. Alright, so let's get into the video media discs that I picked up here. What to start off with? Let's go with Ushio and Tora. What is this? Well, this is a old show made back in 1992. Two handle monsters carry a big spear and a bigger monster. Basically, this is a story of a couple of monster hunters. It's bloody, it's gory. 4.5 hours worth of material over 2 different discs. And it's just an interesting show. It's something old. I've never actually seen this before, but you know, when I see stuff that I haven't seen before and the art style looks as interesting as this does, I wind up going for it. And well, that's pretty much what I did. This was put out by ADV, and yeah, I now own a copy. So awesome. Moving right along here. What do we got? Well, we've got Vandread. And now, you might be thinking, at least if you follow older school anime and whatnot, you might be thinking, Nate, why don't you own Vandread yet? And Nate, why haven't you seen Vandread yet? And, well, I have seen Vandread. Not all of it, mind you. This show, I actually first saw this back when I was in college. The anime club at the college I went to, the University of Kentucky, at the time, they actually, what they did is they put anime onto VHS. They'd get fan subs, record it onto VHS tape, and then we'd watch those VHS tapes during the anime club session. Each tape would have 6 episodes on it, you know, roughly about 2-3 hours of material. And on that tape, we would then, you know, pop it in, watch those episodes during the meeting, and then the next week we'd watch a different series. So it gave you a good intro into what the anime was, and then you were expected to go home and watch it. Well, I never really got a chance to watch the rest of the series at the time. There were other things that I was watching and whatnot, so I never did get the chance. And it's really cool to now finally own a copy of this so I can actually sit down and watch it. This has the 26 episodes plus both OVAs embedded into it, which is really cool to actually have that. What is Vandread? Well, Vandread's an interesting space story where basically it's men versus women. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and they are fighting each other. Each other are the enemy, and they keep telling them that, you know, the men are told that the women capture and eat the men, and the women are told the men capture and eat the women, and whatnot. And eventually, this group of males wind up on the same ship with a group of females, and they wind up actually having to protect themselves and, well, the rest of the galaxy and whatnot from another threat. Another alien force, and through all of that they then get to discover what it's like when you have men and women together, because they have no clue. Neither of them do. So you can guess there's a lot of fan service and interesting things in that. This is considered one of the staple shows as far as the sci-fi genre go and whatnot. So it's cool to finally actually own a copy. Alright, moving right along. Well, while we're talking about staples of sci-fi, let's pull out another show that I'm sure you are probably going to be very, very confused as to why I haven't owned it yet and why I haven't seen it yet, and that is Martian Successor Nadesico. And yeah, you might be wondering, Nate, how have you not ever seen Martian Successor Nadesico? It is like one of the major titles that everybody should have seen growing up back in the 90s and the early 2000s. And honestly, yeah, you're right. A lot of really good AMVs this was used in. And I've always wanted to own it, but I never had a chance. I mean, like I said, anime is expensive. You usually get, one disc. They come out one DVD at a time. Each DVD, you're lucky if it has 4 episodes on it, and it's $30 a piece. So I had to pick and choose what I bought early on in my anime career, and wait for cheaper box sets and whatnot to come out. And this is one of the shows I could have gotten used over at the Disc Replay, but RightStuf had it. A newer version here that came complete with the TV series, the OVA, and the movie, and all I would have gotten was the TV series. So it's really cool to finally own this and get a chance to actually watch it. I don't know a whole lot about it other than it's a group of misfit people on a spaceship out trying to save the universe. A lot of really interesting dance scenes and whatnot happening in that. Either way, though, awesome to finally own that and finally get a chance to watch it. All right, moving right along here. Next up is Shamanic Princess. You might be wondering, what's Shamanic Princess? Well, this is one of the first titles I ever owned on DVD. And one of the unfortunate things about moving as frequently as I have is sometimes things in the collection get lost. And Shamanic Princess is one of them. I don't know where it is. I've looked all over my shelf for it when I saw that this was being released and was cheaper. This is an Anime Works title and came out back in 1997. Basically, it's a 6-episode series about a, magical girl who has shamanic magic, and she's basically trying to retrieve a talisman that was stolen by her beloved. And then she winds up meeting her arch nemesis, and interesting things start happening. I remember this more for its art style than I necessarily do about anything else. It was a really interesting art style, kind of dark as far as all of that goes, and something that I used to own, so I needed to replace it. So thank you, RightStuf, for letting me replace a piece of my shelf that doesn't exist anymore. All right. Next on the list is Alicia. At least I think it's Alicia. E-L-L-C-I-A. Alicia? Something like that. This is an ADV title, 100 minutes. Basically, it's just a simple OVA. An adventure that will take one brave young buccaneer girl on an epic journey that will change her world and her destiny. I don't really know a whole lot about this show, other than it's 4 episodes OVA, and it was released back in 1993 is when this was made, hence the art style. It's an interesting art style. I like a lot of this older artwork and things like that. Actually, the art style reminds me very much of the creator of Kite or Mezzoforte, so that's really cool to get a copy of that, and well, one of these days I'll pop it in and actually see what it's all about. Alright, next up is Garaga. What is Garaga? Well, it's considered a awesome anime series if you love like Planet of the Apes and whatnot. Basically, a group of humans get marooned on a planet, and they find out that the planet's infested with these, humanoid apes that are basically trying to kill them. This is a US manga title, 100-minute OVA, and it came out back in 1989. And what I really remember about this, and the reason why I had to have it, is that this title used to show up on previews before the US Manga Core titles that I own on VHS. So this would come out on these previews, and I would see this scene of this main character here, the guy in red. I'd see him jumping up in the air, shooting his laser pistol down on these apes, and the apes just blowing up in pools of blood. That's what I remember about this. And I always thought that was cool and wanted to own a copy, but I could never find it anywhere. So it's really awesome to finally have this and get to enjoy it. Alright, next up is Black Magic M66. What is Black Magic M66? Well, it is a Masamune Shirow story. It was directed by Masamune Shirow. The original story written by Masamune Shirow, he wrote Black Magic, and at the same time he also wrote this special story, which is based in the world of his original novel, but this is a unique story apparently. Something that's not exactly the same as the original manga apparently, and it's, from the creator of Appleseed and Ghost in the Shell. I love Masamune Shirow. I love his art style. I love his work. I love the stuff that he makes. So this was definitely a purchase that I wanted to make. And it's cool to actually own this and have this included on my shelf. I've never seen this before, so it's nice to always find something that I haven't seen of his work and get a chance to actually see it and see what it's like. So yeah, that's Black Magic M66. Alright, next up is Vampire Princess Miyu. There's another title you might be wondering, hey, why haven't you picked it up? Well, I've explained it enough already. Budgetary concerns. There's only so much anime that you can actually buy and whatnot. But Vampire Princess Miyu is considered one of those staples of the, 90s, early 2000s. This came out back in 1998 and was used in a lot of AMVs that I really, really love. So something that I always wanted to pick up. Looks like it's actually character design and everything is based off of the same person who made Fushigi Yugi, so that's kind of interesting to see. And yeah, I don't actually know a whole lot about Vampire Princess Miyu other than bound by blood, cursed by fate, chosen by destiny. This girl who's a vampire and she has this guy who helps her. And they do stuff. That's about all I really know about the show, but that's perfectly fine. I don't have to know everything about what I buy. I just know, hey, that's an interesting show, looks interesting, I've seen a lot of AMVs with it, and I want to actually watch it. So glad to finally have that and enjoy it. Alright, next title we have up here is Sorceress Stabber Orphan. The complete collection. This has all 47 episodes of Orphan, both Orphan 1 and Orphan 2. This is the Sentai Filmworks version. I don't remember who originally released this back in the day, but this is another one of those shows that I saw back at the Anime Club, and I liked it. It was a really interesting show, but I never got a chance to actually pick it up because it was really expensive. You're buying it one DVD at a time with a couple episodes per DVD, and when there's 47 episodes and you're buying anime that way, it can get pretty expensive. But it's an interesting show about this one guy who is supposedly orphan, and he's a jackass. And then he meets this blonde chick, and, well, opposites attract and other fun things like that. It's time to put the skill back in skill diggery. Orphan just hopes that skill isn't his own, and by skill it's skull. It's time to put the skull back in skullduggery. Orphan just hopes that skull isn't his own. Yeah. This show apparently is also a RPG. I'm not sure which came first, the RPG or this anime. Either way, though, I've heard the RPG is actually really good, so if you have a chance to pick that up, I would recommend doing so. I've been looking for it myself. Either way, though, Orphan, glad to finally own it and get a chance to watch it one of these days. Alright. Next up is the Mecha Masters collection. What is the Mecha Masters collection? Well, it's US Manga Core box set of a number of different US Manga Core releases that are mecha-based, mecha shows. So we've got here MD Geist Director's Cut Death Force, Genocyber the Collection, Cybernetics Guardian, and MD Geist Genocyber the original soundtracks. It's really cool to own these. In fact, I probably own a couple of these already loosely, but it's cool to actually have all of this. I wanted the soundtrack as well. And, you know, really this is kind of based off of what US Manga Core is. I mean, you look here at that, that mecha there on the front, that's pretty much US Manga Core's little mecha guy that they use as their thing. So it's really cool to actually have all of this. These shows came out back in the 90s, and I used to see, you know, previews for these all the time on the US Manga Core titles that I watched. So cool to actually now own the complete collection. Alright, what do we got up next here? Oh yes. This next show here, I have been wanting to own for quite some time. In fact, I own bits and pieces of it. I've owned a couple of random DVDs of it. I own a couple of random laser discs of it. So I've got bits and pieces. I have all of the OVA series, and it's something where I really love the music from it. And what am I talking about? I am talking about Sakura Wars, or Sakura Taisen. This is this is an anime series based off of a video game put out by Sega of the same name, Sakura Taisen. It's about a group of women who basically they're actresses. They do musicals and whatnot in this theater, but what they also is they are defenders of the earth. They basically hop into giant mechs and fight off evil spirits and things like that. It's a really interesting show as far as all that's concerned, but what I really love about it, or what I've always loved about it, is the music. Sakura Wars music is really, really good. I hope some of that music is actually in the anime. I mean, I'm sure the opening theme that I know so well, Geiki, is in this, but I hope a lot of the other music is also in this as well. I know a lot of the stuff came from, you know, a lot of the music and stuff that I know came from the video game, but it would be really awesome to see it in the TV series as well. Different format to actually get that story in other than the video game format. And well, one of the other things that I really love about this is the art designer is Kosuke Fujishima, who is probably better known for being the writer, being the author of not Gunsmith Cats, You're Under Arrest and Oh My Goddess. So pretty much I pick up anything that's that's drawn by Fujishima-san. So awesome to own this finally, and in a complete format, so I can actually enjoy it. Alright, what's up next here? Yes. One of the TV shows that if you grew up watching Cartoon Network and watching Cartoon Network's anime section known as Toonami back in the 90s, you probably saw both of these. And what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Tenchi Muyo. So I've got two Tenchi collections here. The first one is Tenchi in Tokyo, which if you follow Tenchi lore and popular culture belief as far as Tenchi is concerned, this is considered the worst Tenchi show ever. Because, well, Tenchi picks someone in this show. And spoiler alert, it's not one of his main harem girls. The harem basically gets relegated off to a distant area, because basically what happens is Tenchi decides he's moving to Tokyo and going to school. And he's going to live there on campus and all this other stuff. And he meets a girl on campus, and they fall in love. And basically all of the girls are there to help power Tenchi up. He's a shaman now, rather than a son of an alien or other things like that. So a lot of the staples, as far as you understand for what Tenchi is, isn't in this. This actually, Tenchi in Tokyo, for those of you who don't know, is actually called Tenchi TV 2. It's the second TV series, TV run series from Tenchi. The first one is the other disc that I have, and that is Tenchi Universe, otherwise known as Tenchi TV. Because what came first was the OVA, and then Tenchi TV came out, the TV show. And pretty much anytime you see Tenchi in a different format, it's a different story. It may have the exact same characters, but it's always a different story, because the author of Tenchi Muyo basically he doesn't like continuing storylines. He likes to just make new storylines using the same characters and things like that, and that's basically what happens. I really love this. This is probably one of my favorite Tenchis. I like the OVA a lot. You know, the OVA series, Ryuoki and Ryuoki 2, or as we know here in the States, the OVA series, or just Tenchi Muyo, which is the original OVA 6 episodes, the second OVA, which is in Japan known as Ryuoki, and then now the third OVA, which is in Japan Ryuoki 2, but over here just Ryuoki. Yeah, naming is really weird. Either way, though, this is an interesting show. If it's up to me, it's Tenchi and Ryoko. And this solidifies that a lot more. The movies, in some ways, solidify that a bit as well. But as far as I'm concerned, it's Tenchi and Ryoko. But that's just my opinion on it. Awesome to now own copies of this. I've got Tenchi, I've got the movie and the OVA collection already, so it's awesome to now own the other TV series and whatnot. Okay, let's move right along. Coming close to the end here. First up, in this, coming close to the end, is Lupin III, Mine Fujiko no Onna, or the English title as written on here is Lupin III, The Woman Called Fujiko Mine. This is the Lupin TV series that came out here very recently in the last couple of years. I've always followed Lupin for quite some time. I loved the original Lupin TV show. I love the specials and the movies that come out every year and whatnot. It's a really interesting story, about this thief, this awesome thief who, is the greatest thief ever, steals everything but doesn't keep any of it. He's all about the thrill of the steal, not necessarily what he's stealing, basically. And this is a really interesting show. It's drawn in the art style of Monkey Punch, which is kind of refreshing actually to see this art style. It's very stylized. It's manga-esque while being colored and whatnot. And in anime form, it's really cool to actually see this. And this apparently focuses on Fujiko more so than it does actually Lupin. Haven't really seen much of this. I've been wanting to, and now that I own it, I can. So, Lupin III, Fujiko Mine Fujiko no Onna, or The Woman Called Fujiko Mine. Yeah, that's what that is, and awesome to have that. Okay, next up is Akira, 25th Anniversary Edition on Blu-ray. This is a awesome show. If you have never seen Akira, Akira, however you want to pronounce it, if you have never seen this, I highly recommend you go find it. Stream it from Netflix or any other Crunchyroll, whatever streaming service, has this, rent it, buy it, whatever. You need to see this. This is considered one of the staples of anime movies. It's a really interesting futuristic story set in Neo-Tokyo after a big calamity happens, and it's, I mean, some of the biggest jokes in anime comes from Tochiro! Or, not Tochiro. Tetsuro! Akira! Kaneda! There's some really cool music in this. The soundtrack is really awesome. It's very ethnic, very, in some ways almost aboriginal and whatnot. In the way it's actually written, there's a lot of voices and stuff. There's this really cool song in it that's 17 minutes long, and it's just drum beats and voices humming, and it's really, really cool, and one of my favorite anime songs of all time. Like, literally, probably one of my favorites. Really, really great, and it's awesome to now own a copy of this on Blu-ray. I own a couple of copies of this as it goes. Just talking more about Akira, one of the really cool things about this is basically the first ever animated film, or animated anything from Japanese animation, where the animation for the lips was actually done after the voice acting. Normally, they do all the animation first, and then the voice actors get in and they basically say their lines, and they kind of make the mouths just kind of flap generally at the time that they're supposed to be speaking. So it's like that even in Japan. It's not in. That's kind of what happens over here in the U.S. when these dubbing people get it. It's already animated, so they just try to make the translation look like they're saying exactly what they're supposed to. Which is why back in the day, mouths would just flap like this really fast, and so basically they would say, "Okay, guys, talk really fast," and just always be talking while the mouths are moving and things like that. That's why Speed Racer is the way Speed Racer is because they were just trying to do that. But this, on the other hand, they animated the mouths to what was being said. So if you listen to this in Japanese, you get that full effect where, you see someone saying Akira and their mouth moves, Akira, and, Tetsuro, Kaneda, and their mouths move like that. It's really, really cool the way all of that goes. And it's one of the reasons why this is a masterpiece of animation, and everyone should see this. It's violent, so it is rated R, so, kiddies, you should definitely make sure your parents are okay with you watching this. It's gory, it's bloody, there's nudity, there's all this other stuff. This is one of the shows that they used to advertise late at night on TV saying, "This isn't your mother's anime, this is manly anime," and all the other fun stuff. But either way, though, Akira, glad to finally have that back in my collection on Blu-ray. Alright, next up here is, well, it's the last. Yeah, it's 4 discs, but it's one thing. So let's go over this. And what is it? It is The Dirty Pair. If you watched one of my previous pickup videos, you realized that I had actually recently picked up The Dirty Pair Flash, which is a new show done in the same universe as The Dirty Pair. Basically, it's 2 girls that picked up where these 2 had left off. And when I saw the Dirty Pair OVA series and features discs, so yeah, the OVA series and features disc on sale at the RightStuf, I was like, awesome, cool, I'm going to pick these up. I love me some Dirty Pair, and to own all of it, awesome to actually do so. And then I realized, wait a second, isn't Dirty Pair also a TV series? So I went looking, and lo and behold, that's right, it is. And it was released in 2 sets, box 1 and box 2. And these weren't on sale, but I had to pick them up as well. So yeah. Got a chance to actually get all of that, so now I own all of the Dirty Pair, and it's really cool to get that. This is one of those classics of the 80s as far as everything goes. You know, it's scantily clad women bearing guns and blowing the crap out of everything. That's exactly what you're getting out of this. It's what it is. You know, this is 80s sci-fi action at its best, and that's basically the way it winds up coming. So it's awesome to finally own this and have all of it. You know, anime's ultimate girls with guns are back for another round, and make way for anime's ultimate girls with guns, and, you know, all the other fun stuff. Pretty much, you know, they're called the Dirty Pair because pretty much everywhere they go, they wind up causing destruction and property damage and all this other fun stuff. Really, really cool to now actually own one of these staples of old school anime and whatnot. And yeah, awesome find. And, well, with that, the box is empty. Awesome, love this time of year, get a chance to, you know, pick up a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I mean, a lot of really cool stuff. And, you know, there's more coming. You know, Christmas isn't exactly here yet. I haven't opened up all my presents from my family and whatnot. So, obviously, there's going to definitely be more coming up here shortly in the next couple of weeks. You know, another haul video of all the cool stuff that I've gotten from the Christmas season and whatnot. Either way, though, that's my haul for December. Thank you guys for watching. There'll be more content coming out here in the new year. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nate, signing off.